What up, my friends? How you doing today? I've been on a little sabbatical, because is that what you call it? Is it a sabbatical? Because I've been sort of depressed and just trying to figure some stuff out. Trying to take a little break. And I hope you can hear me in this video. I'm trying to speak less loudly because I figured trying to talk way too loud is a little obnoxious too. I'm trying to find a happy medium, I guess. You know, I've been this year much more conscious about going outside, getting some fresh air, getting some sunlight, and I believe it's been beneficial. I do like being out in the sun. It feels good. The only reason I didn't before was because I was ashamed of being dark-skinned. Not that, not saying that I was very dark-skinned or am very dark-skinned. I'm saying I didn't want to have a tan. And it wasn't until recently, maybe 3 years ago, that I realized that, this was kind of something that was programmed into my mind, that if you get a message enough in your life, if it just keeps repeating, eventually you believe it and you think it is true. And so it's made me wake up to the idea of, what kind of information do I get, and what do I believe, and are these thoughts really mine, or is it just programming from all these messages that I'm given since I'm a child. And when you grow up, you don't really have a choice. You are a little child and you depend on adults, namely your parents. And when you depend on and when you grow up, you depend on adults, right? Like your teachers, and you kind of learn about life from them because it seems like they know everything. It seems like they've already learned everything that there is to know about the world, and I'm just here to learn from them, and then whatever that I need to learn is from these adults or or my parents, right? So as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that, even though I'm learning all these lessons of this is what the world is about, this is how the world works, and this is what I was taught since I was a child, the older I get, I realize oh wait, these aren't it's not always true, right? I might think that I understand, I know what difficulty is, or what, how suffering is, things like that. But the reality is I don't. Unless I look at different stories and look at what other people have experienced, and until I see how other people have lived their lives and how their lives have been, I don't really know exactly everything about how suffering works, or how difficulty works. And so I actually had an epiphany this morning. Well, not really an epiphany, but kind of a reminder of when you when things are really difficult, when you feel like things are difficult in life, you might just be, you're not really comparing it to anything else. You're just comparing it to what you've experienced in life, right? So, these past 2 years, in the pandemic, you might think oh, this pandemic thing is really difficult or whatever. But unless you see another person's life, maybe someone who's a Vietnam veteran, or somebody who's been to war, a soldier, a military soldier or something like that, these past 2 years for them probably was not that much of a challenge, right? Because they've actually gone through something where, like constantly, like constantly in life and death or life death situations, and it's very high stakes and it's very like scary and dangerous. And then they go through something like this in the past 2 years where it's like, yeah, that's it's difficult, but in comparison to what like they've experienced before in the past, it's not as difficult. So I've been thinking about, like, since the last 2 weeks, I was like, oh, this is, I feel like life is really hard. Like, I feel like things are really difficult right now. Like, oh, like I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm tired of living life where it feels like things are limited and it seems like everything's doom and gloom and bleak all the time. But then I watched this documentary about Francis Ngannou, who's this world champion. He's like the scariest mixed martial arts fighter ever. He's like, I don't know, way taller than he's like almost 7 feet, 6'8", maybe something like that. He's incredibly quick, incredibly powerful. And, I watched this documentary about how his journey from his home in Cameroon in Africa all the way to being a world champion. And seeing this documentary about how he had to cross the Sahara Desert, he had to be stuffed in a freaking pickup truck with 25 other people, something crazy like that, stuck in a pickup truck, holding on for dear life, because if you fall off and you're on the sand, they don't wait for you, they just leave you, because it was a backdoor way of escaping Cameroon, his home in Africa. Because his life there was just, he was a child working in a salt mine. Like, it was just like there was no hope. Like, people just like were living in just very poor conditions, and a lot of them just did not have any hope for anything. It's just like, this is our life. We work in a salt mine. It's a toxic waste environment, but we have no choice, right? This is just life. But he was like, no, I'm not taking this. I'm not accepting this. Like, he knew that he could do more. And he talks about how he had to, it's like people couldn't drink water on the trip. They're crossing the Sahara Desert. Like, they had to drink water that was filled with dead animals in it, just because, like, if they didn't drink it, they would die. Like, it was seriously some of the most, like, if you watch, he goes through this in detail on Rogan's podcast, and it's just super inspiring to see and hear that, and to be like, I am so comfortable. Like, I'm laying in my bed watching this, and I'm like, and I am feeling like down because, like, I have, like, some skin issues, and I have back pain, and it's like, but I'm laying in bed watching TV. Like, I'm comfortable, I'm warm, I have shelter, I have parents that love and support me, and I have, like, I have a girlfriend, and I have all these great things in my life, and I'm feeling all super depressed and down these past 2 weeks. And I'm not trying to minimize, like, some of the things that I've been going through, right? Like, January is always a tough month, I believe, for everybody, because it's just such a uneventful, kind of like cold, dark month. And on top of that, you have, like, the pandemic and all that shit, and it's just really, it can really weigh you down, right? Like, even me, I'm just like, I don't believe any of this shit, and I'm like not buying any of it, but, like, it still, like, weighs me down a lot, because I mean, in these times, I feel like everybody has something to like feel really shitty about, and to feel really pissed off about, and to feel like, just like, dude, I just want to like escape, and I just want to leave. I just want to go somewhere and just get away from all these problems. And you see people turning to alcohol or drugs, or going on vacations and feeling like, oh, even this is not the fix. Like, I can't leave the situation, like, because like a global pandemic, like, where you're gonna go on a vacation, but still it's just like still there looming in the back of your mind. It's just like, wow, like, I can't really escape it. It's just there all the time, right? But and I want to say, like, oh yeah, like, there's hope, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and it seems like there appears to be, but I can't promise that. Like, I don't think anyone can promise that. But it's important to stay focused on enjoying your life, because that's, all you can do is like focus on what you have control over. Like, what do you have control over? Forget everything that you can't control. Like, you can try to control as much as you can, but really the only thing you can do is just focus on, what can I do to enjoy my life? Like, what can I do to enjoy my time here in this universe, in this world, whatever it is. Like, all you can do is just focus on that and keep going. And really, these past year, I've been like I've had some of the happiest days I've had, honestly. Like, some days where I'm just like, I'm really happy. Like, there's things that I'm really happy about. And even in those moments, I'm like, well, even though I'm happy, I still have to not be naive. I have to be like, I am happy, but I have to remember that I shouldn't settle. And kind of going back to the story of Francis Ngannou, it's like, he could have been happy staying in Cameroon. And there's a lot of people that are still there, right? They're still living the life that he could have lived. But being able to be aware, to be happy and enjoy life, but to be aware that things are not exactly how they should be, or like these things in life are not as good as they can be, then you can kind of find a way to be like, okay, these things it's not great, right? But let me enjoy my life, but also have goals. Like, how can I enjoy my life even more? Like, I can enjoy my life now, but there are still things that I can do, and I gotta work every day to make things even better, to make life even better. I don't have to accept everything the way as it is. Like, I don't have to settle. If I feel like something is wrong and things can be better, let me take that shot. Let me take control of what I can control, and move forward, and just go day by day, and just go day by day, enjoying life at the same time, but also striving for more. I think that is the mindset that I have been moving towards, and I think that mindset will help some of you who might be struggling, who might be like, things are really difficult right now, and I don't know if I'm gonna dig myself out of this situation, or if I'm feeling really depressed, or like I'm feeling like there's no hope, or like, things aren't gonna get better for me, like I have a health issue or anything like that. Like, what it is, and to be able to have the mental strength and to have the mental fortitude, and that becomes a challenge in itself, that, you know, and realizing that any challenge in life is going to make you better, and when you come out of the other side, it'll make you a better person. I think that is truly a valuable mindset to have, and will make things a lot easier and make your days a lot better moving forward. I think I got my point out. I think this is the first video where I've really talked through what was on my mind and was able to make a point that I really wanted to make. So I'm really happy about that. See, that's what happens when you spend some time outdoors and try to get your thoughts out on video for the world. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video.